Another episode, Project 90 Soccer. My name is Antonio, and I'm here with, as always, my hermano, the muchacho, el caballero de Club León, Marco Antonio Munoz. Marco, how you doing?
Sto bene, Canto. Sto bene. We
Sto
just
bene.
finished watching the last quarterfinal, Argentina, Switzerland.
Yes.
And boy, it wasn't the craziest game, but the Argentinians got the job done.
Got the job done, just like we thought would happen. Obviously, there was a red card, so that made a major difference. Yeah, but let's just jump into this, Marco. Look, the 10th minute started pretty early for Argentina. McAllister getting the goal. Assist coming from Messi. Did not score this game, so he ends his streak of scoring in World Cup games. Obviously, getting that goal early on, it's a good start for Argentina. What did you think of the opening maybe 20, 30 minutes of the game?
Yeah, man, we're barely getting settled in and watching this game and Argentina scores, then you just start to think they may steamroll these guys. But yeah, you're right. Lionel Messi had a quiet game.
Yeah,
I mean, I would still say he contributed, right, moving the ball, just trying to get the ball inside and trying to get some shots off, but ultimately in quite in comparison to all the other games he's had. But
yeah.
no, yeah, man, that red card played a big difference because right before that, it feels like the Reds were just getting to the groove of things. They were playing the ball in, and ultimately that red card changed everything.
It did, man. So I mean, we could kind of, I'll jump on that whole Messi comment. It wasn't his strongest game. I would agree with that. You know, he had his moments, link up play, this and that. Tried to cut in a few times, take a few shots, but wasn't the most exciting game from him. Most influence on the game from him this time around. But all the other players were in there. They stepped up, and ultimately Argentina took care of it. But just before the first half ended, I should say, the 44th minute, there's this foul, right? And Embolo goes down. Paredes gets a yellow card. And when I saw the replay initially, I saw it as a dive. I didn't understand what was going on. Paredes got the yellow card. And, shortly after, the referee does the VAR signal. He walks over. And what does he do? You know, he takes away the card from for Paredes, which I agree with, and he gives a second yellow for simulation to Embolo, sending him off. Now, personally, I think the rules are pretty cut and dry. If there's simulation, it's a yellow card. There's a lot of talk about how it's kind of a harsh red card to give, right? But ultimately, for me, the rule it should just be cut and dry, pretty clear. If there's simulation, it's a yellow card under any circumstance. So he gets the second yellow, gets sent off. That's my opinion on it. What do you think about that, though?
Well, we got to turn it back a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the ref would have never gave Paredes, who I think did a solid job today,
Yeah,
gave him initially the yellow card, it would not have been reviewable. If it
true.
would have just standed alone as a foul, we could have still had Embolo the rest of the game. But also, like, shame on Embolo, right? You're already on a yellow,
Yeah,
right? And you decide to dive. Like, there's some refs that are gonna, cut you some slack, and then there's some refs that are by the book. Like, no, dude, I'm not letting this one fly. We've seen many games where the first foul, the ref wants to set the tone in the game. Like, not even 10 minutes in, he'll give that first foul a yellow. That's because
yeah.
they want to take control of the game. But no, yeah, man, I agree on this one. The right call, and Bolo should have never done that.
Yeah.
And that red card was fairly deserved.
Yeah, I agree. It's unfortunate. Obviously, it really changed the game for Switzerland because I feel like they were gaining some momentum there. They were really starting to kind of put it on the defense of Argentina. But, I mean, as we see here now in the second half, a bit of a shocker, right? The 67th minute, Ndoye scores, which is, not expected. 1-1, ties up the game. I thought Ndoye was probably one of their better players today. Xhaka did very well. Embolo, while he was on, was a physical presence, as he is. He's a big guy. But, there was a sense of maybe some hope there when they tied it 1-1 that maybe, just maybe, if they sort of parked the bus, they dropped into a five flat in the back. They kind of started to play more defensive, being a man down. I was thinking, though, maybe they'll get, a counterattack, something like that, to go up the field, use their speed, and maybe get another chance and score, which they got a few other chances, but ultimately they got worn down. And then seeing it go to the 90, right, and into extra time, it was sort of inevitable what was going to happen, in my opinion. They were just going to get, I mean, constant pressure from Argentina, and that's ultimately what happened. So moving on
Yeah,
here,
I know I had made the comment to you earlier on, like, yeah, maybe we just parked the bus where they parked the bus, but
yeah,
then I looked at the clock and I was like, it's too early, right? Anto had a good call. Maybe they should focus on some counterattacks because
yeah,
you can't hold that long, right? You still have like 20 odd minutes, and
no,
let's say and then you start holding on the back half of the extra time. But yeah, man, I mean, I think Chaka also did a solid job. They made mention on the telecast that some of the guys were together since they won the U17 World Cup. So
yeah,
when they say that, I was like, oh, nice. So makes a lot of sense why these guys have been quietly performing and just moving on game after game, getting it done. But yeah, man, going into the extra time and then just seeing Argentina just throw three nines
yeah,
up top. There's a phrase in Mexico, "al carne al asador." They're throwing all the meat on the grill, you know. So that's exactly what they did, and ultimately, the guy who you and I have been talking about that
yeah,
hasn't really done a lot. He's more of a club guy with Atletico Madrid. Ends up getting a banger of a goal just when they needed it.
yeah.
Alvarez with that nice goal that he had.
I mean, perfect shot. Perfect shot. Got a little bobble right when you went to hit it, right? I feel like it was one of those shots that as soon as it leaves your foot, you just know. Like it's perfect. And it was perfect. There's really no controversy. There's nothing that can be said about anything, foul, nothing. It was just clean touch, took it inside, clean shot. 2-1. At that point, you felt like the game was over. Switzerland was going to really have to. With 8 minutes left, they're going to have to just throw everything forward. But then the 121st minute, Lautaro
Uh-huh.
Martinez puts the final nail in the coffin, ends the dream of Switzerland, which unfortunately I was really pulling for them. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I thought they got here in a respectable fashion. I think they were playing well. Again, just the red card going down to 10 men ultimately was the deciding factor, I think. Um, but yeah, man, Thiago Almada had a good shot. The Emi Martinez had some big saves as well, so you got to give him credit.
You
But
know who's
yeah,
been
man,
solid? You know who's been solid all tournament, and
who's
it goes
that?
back to the last World Cup. McAllister, dude.
Yes,
McAllister, he's just solid, and he's bald now. He got this bald head haircut that made him even more solid. I think they give him extra points,
just looks
but
furious.
he's just been solid, man. He really plays his heart out. He's one of those guys where you won't hear his name a lot,
Yeah,
but wearing that jersey, wearing the Argentinian badge on him doesn't weigh on him. He just gets the
no.
job done.
It's the same, like him, Paredes is the same way. They don't do the biggest things maybe in the game, but they're so solid in there. You know what I mean? And another shout out for Argentina, Lisandro Martinez.
Yeah,
That guy is a rock, man. Little guy, he's not the biggest dude, but he
Man
was
United,
holding it
baby.
down. Yeah, he was holding it down against like Embolo and all their strikers. And the thing about him is he'll get you a goal too, like we
Yep.
saw in the previous games. That guy, I don't want to say he's underrated, but I think he's a key component for Argentina if they're going to go win the World Cup. And a little tangent on Switzerland. Ruben Vargas coming in late in the game, late in extra
Uh,
time. I said this last game. I'll say it this game too. I don't know why this guy is not getting on the field sooner. To me, I know they have Ndoye, they have these other players as well, but to me, Vargas is the kind of guy. He creates chances. He's dangerous on the wing. He's shown it in previous tournaments in the last Euros versus Italy. I mean, he absolutely destroyed them. And every time he comes on, I see him being an effective player. So maybe that's something to think about for Switzerland. Maybe they should have put him on sooner. But at the end of
Yeah,
the day,
if I'm not mistaken, he played the first match to open up the group stage.
hmm
It was him and Vargas on the other side with Embolo obviously up front. But yeah, you're
yeah,
right, man. This guy should have been getting more looks.
yeah, yeah. But there it is. Argentina's through to the semis. The semifinals are set. We have the top 4 teams in the world by ranking in the semifinals. I think that might be a first ever. I'm not too sure, but we have on Tuesday we have France versus Spain, and then Wednesday we have England versus Argentina, the only non-European team in this semifinal. Let's start with France versus Spain. We kind of talked about this the other day. We touched on it, but quick prediction from you. What do you think is going to happen there?
I think France is taking that one.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at some stats and looking at like, man, Olise hasn't had a goal, so maybe this is that game where he gets that goal.
Mm-hmm.
It may be a close one, right? But just like I mentioned in the previous combo, they just have too much firepower up front,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Then again, I could be watching the first half and change my mind, right? Because you never know what Spain's going to come out. What are they going to do? I mean, Lamine Yamal was balling last game, so you just never know. But if I had to put some money on it right now,
Yeah.
I'd say France is moving on.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's going to be a good game. Might be a close match, but I think the attacking, just the force that France has, all the different players they have up there, and not to sleep on their defense is pretty solid as well. But I think their attack is just nearly unstoppable. I think Spain might be able to put one on the board, maybe even two. Might be a high scoring game, but I just think France is going to get through and end up in the final. Um, Second semifinal, day after, England versus Argentina. I think this one's going to be an interesting sort of matchup. They're both pretty physical teams, I would say. I think Argentina is a very physical team, right? They really get down and dirty. Versus England, they have some big defenders. They have some big players on the field. Jude Bellingham's been on fire. Harry Kane's going to be a tough matchup for Lisandro Martinez. So I don't know, man. What do you see happening there?
To your point, England has a solid defense, right?
Yeah,
Their defense is going to have to play a huge role against Argentina. But what I would say is both these teams tonight, they went into extra time, right?
yeah,
So who's going to have the freshest legs coming to Wednesday?
yeah.
And ultimately, if it is a nitty gritty game, who has more depth in the bench? And I asked you that question. Who do you think that is?
More depth on the bench. England, Argentina, huh? Well, seeing today's performance from England, they brought Saka off the bench, Spence off the bench. They brought Dan Burn. Obviously, he's a defender. They have John Stones, who hasn't started every game, but started today. Argentina, Lautaro Martinez has been coming off of the bench. Man, that's a tough one, dude. In terms of depth, I have to say I give a slight edge maybe to I want to give it to England. I'll be honest, in terms of depth coming off the bench, which is going to really matter in the later stages of the game. If they end up in extra time, that could be the difference maker. Man, overall prediction, I want to believe that England can. They always say it's coming home. This might be the tournament. I don't know, but I think this is going to be the end of the road for Argentina. They do have a way. They have this special ability to find winners and to just grind games out and win games. But I think England kind of has the same thing going for them, especially with Bellingham, the way he's been informed, the way he is. Um, yeah, man, I just think it's going to be a clash of who wants it more. It's going to be a fight, but I think England's going to come out on top in this one.
And I would echo to what you're saying. I mean, Argentina had two tough games,
Yeah.
Cape Verde and this one, right? Both going in extra time. But ultimately, I agree. England has more depth on the bench. They have more speed on the bench coming off to be dynamic when those changes happen. But I don't know. I'm picking Argentina on this one. They just
Mhm.
always find a way to win
Yeah.
last minute, and they have one of the goats in the history of soccer, right? So
Yeah. Could
Messi
change
may
a
not have
game.
got, yeah, he may not have got his goal this time, but
Mhm.
he's probably going to get it in the semis.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I mean that's definitely the truth, right? Messi's on fire. You can never count that guy out. He could change a game in an instant. So, we'll see. It's going to be an exciting game, exciting two semifinal games. But that's it, man. That's it for this episode. Let's wrap it up. That was our quarterfinal sort of recap. And we're moving on into the semis. So we'll be back for those recaps on Tuesday and Wednesday. This has been another episode of Project 90, project90soccer.com. Go find our socials, streaming platforms, like, subscribe, comment, do your thing. Get involved in the conversation. We want to hear your opinions on these games as well.
Give us a follow, people. Give us a follow.
Follow, subscribe, like, YouTube, TikTok. We're on IG. We're everywhere. Follow us, find us, project90soccer.com. Peace.